It's Tuesday, January 22nd, 2019, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. We begin with news of a busy 24 hours for police as they investigate the death of two women. An elderly woman was killed at Vauxhall Christchurch last night, while a female's body was found at River Bay, St. Lucie. Barbados Today understands that security personnel responded to noises in one of the units at the Vauxhall Senior Citizens Home. On arrival, they discovered the body of the elderly female resident. A man, also a resident of the facility, was found close by and is being questioned. Senior Superintendent of the Southern Division, Bruce Rowe, spoke to reporters around 10 last night about Barbados' fourth homicide for the year.
We were at this scene of a unnatural death where an elderly lady who was staying in the Vauxhall Senior Citizen Home here in Vauxhall died as a result of some injuries that she received, suspected stab wounds. Right? Our investigations are ongoing. There is a person in custody assisting us with the investigations, but we will not disclose any names at this time because of the fact that we have to notify family members and all of that. Right? It basically happened, we received the report sometime just after 6 o'clock. I responded promptly. We are going through a forensics examination of the scene, and investigations will continue.
Meantime, police spokesman Station Sergeant Michael Blackman also reported last night that lawmen had responded to a report of a discovery of a woman's body around 5:40 p.m. yesterday at River Bay. She has not yet been identified and investigations are continuing. Still in news from the Royal Barbados Police Force, members of the Coast Guard and Marines have been searching for 18-year-old Lindy London, who went missing while swimming on Sunday around 8:30 p.m. London of Cottage Crescent, St. George, was last seen at the Hot Pot at Brandon's Beach, St. Michael. Police say he went to the beach with two friends and encountered difficulty with strong currents. A St. Michael family is trying to come to grips with the tragic death of their loved one, 24-year-old Mario Peters. Peters of Bayville, St. Michael, passed away Sunday night at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital after being involved in an accident over 2 weeks ago. He sustained severe head injuries when his motorcycle collided with a taxi on January 3rd, just outside the Harbour Lights nightclub along Bay Street. Surrounded by family members, the deceased man's mother, Gail Peters, told Barbados Today she was trying to be strong, but her son's death was not easy for the family. She also revealed that her son loved motorcycles and was a very adventurous and loving person. Mario, who is this island's first road fatality for the year, also lives to mourn a daughter and 4 siblings. To other news, this Tuesday, political scientist Peter Wickham has thrown cold water on news that a new political party will soon be launched. Opposition leader Reverend Joseph Atherley named a 14-member team on the weekend to speak on national issues, and he says a political party is in the works. But Wickham, who heads the Caribbean Development Research Services, CADRIS, is not impressed. He tells Barbados Today it seems the move is all about benefiting from a $250,000 subvention set aside for political parties.
Frankly, I'm not understanding the philosophical relationship between the individual parties. It seems like a group that was just drawn together and on the basis of convenience. You have people, for example, like the senator, the economist, who has indicated that she's not political, notwithstanding she's a senator in what is now a political party. I've never heard Caswell Franklin speak of his political allegiance to any central philosophy that revolves around Mr. Reverend Atherley. And then we look at Reverend Atherley himself, who was a sworn member of the Barbados Labour Party up until a few months ago, who said that he was leaving that party even though he identified with a lot of the principles.
Wickham says the group doesn't appear to have any legitimacy and would stand little chance at the polls. As for the possibility of Reverend Atherley seeking a by-election in the St. Michael West constituency, which he won on a Barbados Labour Party ticket, Wickham says it isn't likely.
Reverend Atherley is no fool, and Reverend Atherley understands that if he goes back to the polls, he'll be obliterated because he knows his own weaknesses and vulnerability. So he won't do that. But I think on principle, it would be a good thing for him to do that, because if he did that, it would clarify any misconceptions that persons like myself would have that he doesn't have a legitimacy. In the last few years, we had a situation where an MP from Trinidad and Tobago, he resigned his seat and he faced the election as an independent, and he won. Well, an independent party, a different political party, and he won his seat. I think that if Reverend Hasley were to do that, certainly it would silence people like myself. But
there's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
In news from our regional neighbors now, Grenada's Inter-Secondary Schools Athletic Championship has become a casualty of a protracted industrial dispute between teachers and the Keith Mitchell administration. More from GBN's Christina John.
Social media was abuzz this weekend with news that the three-day sporting meet that showcased the prowess of secondary school athletes was cancelled. The statement from the Grenada Association of Principals of Secondary Schools said teachers have been resolute in their decision to not volunteer the time towards the staging of the preliminary events and hits that led up to the games. The release said the difficult decision to cancel the games was made jointly by the Principal Association, the Grenada Secondary School Games Association, and title sponsor Scotiabank. Efforts to get comments from the Minister of Sport, Nolan Cox, and sporting officials within the Ministry of Sport proved futile. One minister told GBN government will give an official response in Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing.
And finally, on the international scene, Senator Kamala Harris has become the fourth woman and first African-American female to announce a run for the United States presidency in 2020. We hear more in this CNN report.
The native of Oakland says she embodies everything California stands for and what the president is against. She is the daughter of immigrants, a father from Jamaica and a mother from southern India, both active in the civil rights era.
It was about fighting for justice. It was about fighting to make sure that all people had a say in their future.
Harris graduated from Howard University, returning to Oakland to become a prosecutor. As a San Francisco district attorney, Harris crafted innovative programs to reform the criminal justice system at a time when other prosecutors were taking a tough-on-crime approach.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Carol Williams. Good morning.